Ladies and gentlemen, as it is a holiday week, I want to give you some good news to go into your MAGA month. Now, the story is circulating that Tim Pool bought a skate park, taking it away from a local skateboard community. Now, it's a gross exaggeration. They're mostly lying and they're bent out of shape. But the reality is, on the surface, I can say this. A bunch of woke leftists tried injecting themselves into a skating in a public street event because it's theirs. Rejected a large sum of money, which was just meant for the community, making it so that many of the local skaters would not have an opportunity to actually get said money. And the end result is, but I'll tell you the full story. The story of how Tim Pool came to own the do-it-yourself skate park that had been run by a bunch of woke leftists, and how we are taking back skateboarding, which is an absolute freefall, by the way, from interests that would see it completely destroyed, from political elements that would reject money into a dying industry. This, my friends, is a segment that many on the right are calling based, on the left are calling cringe, but the real story matters. The story of how Tim Pool bought a skate park that was owned by a bunch of woke, or I shouldn't say owned, but like run by some woke dude who is upset for some reason. I can't really tell you. All I can tell you is the way it's being framed by many on the right is that a bunch of woke people got owned or something, and the left is framing it as I'm an 80s comic book villain. The story is truly less interesting than that, but there is a lot here in terms of this story about me going viral, about how I inserted myself into a community. And the narrative being presented by the left is that after I was denied access to a do-it-yourself park, I spent nearly $1 million to steal the park from them. Oh, man, go ahead and believe it if you want. I'll tell you the full story. Here you can see on the screen a picture of me doing a skateboard trick. I am doing the Smith grind. That's what it's called. It's called the Smith grind. It's in our skate park here at the Freedomistan, because we are launching the property. We call it Freedomistan. Freedom. You mean City of Freedom. Place of Freedom. And we're launching a new brand called Boonies. And I want to start with this. And then I'll come here and I'll show you some skate clips so you can understand. We see this tweet from @CrookShove. That's his name on Twitter. Tim Pool bought the land a DIY was built on after the locals denied his money for a skate event they didn't want Tim to be a part of. I'd like to tell you a story about the real-world efforts to win a culture war, what it looks like, what it means, and how we do it. Not everybody has $1 million to spend. I understand that. But the story is actually a bit more complicated than that, so I hope you enjoy. Here's the first post. It's a post from a guy named Drinks Broth, which was reposted by Martinsburg DIY Skate Park, which was reposted by CrookShove. But it goes like this. On August 21st, 2023, Tim Pool, a prominent right-wing podcaster, inserted himself into the 10th anniversary skateboard event and contest at the Martinsburg DIY Skate Park with the idea of committing a total of $20,000 prize money for first, second, and third place winners. This self-insertion was without the guidance or knowledge of the local skateboarders who led the DIY spot. To avoid possible negative attention that would be associated with Tim Pool, the money was refused, and Tim Pool was barred from attending the event by local skaters. Now, hold on there a minute. We'll come back to this. Here's my initial tweet where I said, I am committing $20,000 towards prizes at this local DIY Skate Jam Best Trick Contest. $12,000 for first place, $6,000 for second place, $2,000 for third place. Richie Jackson, for those who are not familiar, one of the most famous pro skateboarders. He has 2 of the most viewed skate videos of all time. I have done nothing to organize this and have no idea how it will even be possible. It's going to be fun. Here's their response. The Martinsburg DIY Skate Park was an unofficial skating spot, so the property owner was unaffiliated with the local skate scene. The head locals at the DIY skate park were in contact with the property owner and even had permission to continue the use of land for skating and minor obstacle development. On September 11th, 2023, only 21 days after Tim Pool's tweet announcing his involvement in the event, 310 North Raleigh Street in Martinsburg, which held the DIY spot, was bought for $850,000 by the Will of the People Production, LLC. Will of the People Production, LLC is owned solely by Tim Pool. Tim Pool bought the land which resided at the Martinsburg DIY skate park, which devastated the Martinsburg skate scene. Yo, I gotta, let me tell you what's up with these people, my friend. Okay, my friends, please understand this. They don't own the land. There's no official organizing body. And I tried to give them $20,000 for nothing. So as the story goes, we've got 2 private skate parks in the area. And we had been looking in Martinsburg. So we own a large building in Martinsburg where, of course, you all know that we're setting up the Cask Brew coffee shop currently in permitting. And so what I wanted to do was a wide range of things. Either we were going to do a small plaza. Skate plazas are usually really small places where skateboarders can hang out and skate. Not big skate parks, but enough to keep, it's a park. It's a small park with like some trees and some ledges, and skateboarders can have fun there. That's what it is. Or we were going to buy a large plot of land and build a large $500,000 skate park that would be, I guess it would be considered a privately owned public space. This would require us negotiating with the city on terms, but they're called POPs, famous in New York. They see them all over the place. Zuccotti Park, where Occupy Wall Street took place, is actually one of these. The general idea is that what we would do is I'd buy a plot of land. I'd contract a company to, we were looking at land that was like between a few $1,000s for a small plot for a plaza, up to like $500,000 for a large acreage, and even up to $850,000 for a large piece of property. And I'll tell you why this property is worth it. So we had been looking for a while, actually, for some time. Because we owned this building in Martinsburg. I skateboard. We can't have a skate park in the building or like a mini ramp on the roof. So if I'm working there, if we do a show there, where do I skate during the day? Well, I like skating. I like helping the community. I want people to skate more. The skateboard industry is dying. Let's build a skate park. So then we began investigating properties. Well, it just so happens the city already has an agreement with this DIY skate park, and it sits on 4.5 acres of land that is almost entirely concrete. Anybody who knows how much concrete costs knows, holy crap, concrete's very, very expensive, especially for dealing with like 4.5 acres of concrete. We're talking millions of dollars in development. So here I am presented with a property which is derelict. The owners don't live here. I believe the original owner died. The owner listed was incorrect. The addresses were all wrong. And we were investigating to figure out who owns this property and why is it derelict. And the ultimate decision was, we got 4.5 acres here. Tons of concrete. It used to be a lumber yard. We can actually use the existing concrete and set up prefab, cheaper skate park to start if we can't afford a full concrete development, which could cost millions of dollars. And so if we're able to buy this land and allocate in one area some steel ramps with skate light, we could spend 20% of the cost and actually have a legitimate based skate park in Martinsburg for everyone to use. So we had been investigating this. Well, when we had been investigating it, I'd been skating around the area, and sure enough, someone comes to me one day. I think I was in like the Hagerstown, Maryland. And someone's like, hey, are you going to come to the jam in Martinsburg? And I was like, I don't know, whatever. I'm really thinking, I didn't care, whatever. I'm skating. And then like a week later, someone else came up to me and said, people are asking if you're going to show up to the Martinsburg thing because, like, we're there. We've been talking about doing this anti-Times Square. In fact, there have been some interests showing up in Martinsburg to help this out. And so I was like, I don't know. I was asked about it before. I mean, maybe I should show up. What is it? Sure enough, there's no official organizing body. The flyer itself, which they highlight in this post, literally just says Martinsburg street spot. And there's videos of people literally skating in the street in front of my building. Like, I bought a building. I bought it from a guy. I said, I want a building. We're going to put a coffee shop in it, sell coffee to people. Well, there's a video of people skating in front of my building. And I'm like, how about that? And I was like, you know what? Let's do this, man. We're here. We're setting up shop. Let's give some local skaters some hot cash. Imagine, any one of you out there, many of you skate, maybe many of you don't. Imagine whatever your hobby may be. Maybe you like playing ultimate frisbee. Maybe you play frisbee golf. You're not a professional. You work a day job. Maybe you're a carpenter, a plumber, I don't know, whatever it is you do. Maybe you're a teacher or a nurse, whatever. And someone comes and says, hey, you know, you and your buddies are going to be playing frisbee golf or kickball or whatever. You want $12,000? It's kind of remarkable to me that anyone would be like, no. I was actually shocked at the response. I thought this was going to be like Martinsburg skaters cheering, saying thank you. We did a jam here. You can see the window right behind me. Where is it? Where's my arm? There we go. Right behind me, you can see the sunlight. We did a jam here. Several pro skateboarders and amateur skateboarders showed up. We ended up paying out like $13,000 in prizes, and everybody was super excited. We have tons of local skaters here who produce content. Everyone seems really cool about it. But for some reason, these people are just really, really upset for no reason. So in response to me offering $20,000, they posted something like, we will physically remove Tim Pool if he tries to show up. And I have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't know these people. Their previous video is them skating in the street in front of, or like one of their videos is like them skating in the street in front of my building. Like literally, like you can see our building, the Cast Brew building. And I'm just like, why are these people yelling at me? Like I literally just offered free money to random skaters who wanted to do some tricks. And $12,000, the idea here is that we need to put money in skateboarding. We're going to do it in an area. We're going to revitalize it. We're going to bring in some energy, and I want parents to look at that and say to their kids, like, you should be a skateboarder. This dude is making it work, right? Where we are right now, the skateboard industry is in free fall. It's collapsing. Revenues are drying up. Pro skateboarders are famously working at convenience stores and movie theaters. I've heard stories about professional skateboarders, the people of legend with 100,000 followers, and they're Uber drivers. And I'm like, no. The Olympics, man, are around the corner. If we do not make sure that real skateboarders are involved, corporations are going to take over and turn skateboarding into gymnastics. It's been a fear since I was a kid when they were talking about putting skateboarding in the Olympics. So we're going to put some money in this, and we are going to build this culture back up. Well, these people lost their minds. They were threatening to physically remove me. They insulted me. I don't even know them. And it was just plain weird. Now, here's the best part, right? They don't own the spot. By what right do they have to tell me I can't stand on a derelict piece of property they're squatting on? Oh, but they said they had permission to be there. Well, here's what happens. So we had already been investigating numerous properties in Martinsburg. We bought one. Literally, it's funny. Okay, let me go back in time. We bought a building in Martinsburg. We have been investing in and investigating investments in Martinsburg for a long time. So here's what happens. After I announced I'm going to give 20 grand to some local skaters. Wow. Allison and I are standing in this derelict lot full of dog crap. And it was being sold for like 10 grand. And one of the ideas was maybe this could be a plaza. What you'd do is you'd buy it, you'd put concrete over it, you'd then put some tree planters, so there's like little concrete ledges, and then skateboarders can hang out there and skate. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know that would have been a good idea. It was next to a residential building, and so we talked about like maybe the neighbors wouldn't appreciate hearing all the skateboarding all day, so we don't want to do this. Well, as Allison and I were standing there talking with an agent about that and other properties, some dude claiming to be the sheriff of this park started screaming at us, walked over to us, yelling at us, shaking, filming. Some guy pulled up in a car, started screaming at us, and I'm like, I don't know you people. I have no idea what's going on. And they're screaming at us. And I'm like, what is up with these people, dude? It's nuts. So these are the people, I guess, who were threatening me with violence or whatever. Now, here's the best part about this. These people are making the claim. And this is, look, you know, I don't just bring this up willy-nilly. 1.4 million views on X, going viral, 2,000 tweets. I think it's a tremendous opportunity to bring up this story and tell you all about it. Because many of you might just say it's a big victory or whatever. Can I just say this? The idea that you can buy $1 million property in 21 days is it clearly shows these people have no idea how any of this stuff works. We had been investigating in Martinsburg forever. We've been trying to build the coffee shop for how long? We've been talking with ramp construction companies and engineers about what kind of property could go where. Now, the problem these people that I see with Martinsburg is they're now trying to fundraise for a large concrete park somewhere else. Please, by all means, go ahead and do it. But like, I'm confused. I don't even know you. I don't say anything to these people. I've been offering up money, trying to build a park. They reject it for reasons unknown to me. They say they don't want to be associated with Tim Pool. Fine, sure, whatever. But how are we going to reconcile that with the city that I offered up like $2 million in funding to make a skate park and y'all reject it? I don't care what these people think, okay? The end result is their skate park is now on my property. I own the commercial lot where this park resides. And I told them, guys, even after they're all freaking out and angry, I'm like, guys, I don't know you. I don't care what you're doing. Keep skating there. Just whatever the deal was you had before, that's it. You skate at your own responsibility. I have nothing to do with this. They're acting like they're trying to claim that this is a comic book villain thing. Yo, I love this. Let me see if I can pull up some of these tweets, right? Let me see what tweets we have pulled up. I want to find a good fun one. There was one where it was like Tim Pool is, here we go. This is a good one. Hey, Caitlin. She's like, Tim Pool got excluded from a skate park and was like, what would the sad, lonely, rich kid villain from Little Rascals do? Give them $20,000, no strings attached, and then leave and never talk to them again? This is the wildest thing. We offered up this money, and that was the end of it. That was just it. When they said no, I was like, sorry. I talked to a guy on the phone. I was like, bro, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, they're skating in the street. It's a street spot. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know you guys. And then after we bought the property, we had to track down the owners. I guess the original owner died, and then their kids inherited it, and they weren't too far away. But the listing information was derelict. And I think this is I'll tell you what I think really happens. I'll tell you what the people in Martinsburg have been telling me. So as you know, we want to make an anti-Times Square in Martinsburg. They've got really amazing restaurants. Shout out to Bricks 27, the best filet mignon I've ever had. I'm not kidding. They sous vide it before they cook it. Wow. And I was really impressed because it's Martinsburg, but it's coming up. It's popping off. So I'm really excited. And it's a great place. It's a great place. Here's what I think. I think the people who had built this, it's called DIY Do-It-Yourself Park. They wanted to call it a DIY, not a private park, but they want to treat it like a private park, like it's their property. Because the owner died, kids inherited it, and they did not know what was going on. There's even a building on the property. There's a building on the property. Yep. It's tremendously valuable, the property, but it was derelict. And we saw this building, and we saw this commercial property, and we're like, not only can we build a skate park, but you can put a skate shop right there. It's like perfect. Now, there is a church there, and we told them, you guys, anything you need, anything you want, you do your thing. And they're like, no, we're good. We'll just keep doing our thing. I'm like, do your thing, do your thing. And that was it. Since then, we've said nothing and done nothing for no one. We bought it and we walked away. And we're working on all of our other projects. We're focused on getting Casper up and running. But with this property derelict, the people who claimed it was a DIY needed to because they don't own the property, but we're still acting like they did own the property. So the real problem, me buying the property, I now have authority over the property, and they had de facto authority to threaten and, attack people because there was because it was derelict. So let me tell you, my friends, before we moved to where we were, 5 years ago, there's a building in Martinsburg that's like, what is it, like 400,000 square. It's nuts. And it was being sold for like $700K. And I was like, man, I wish I could buy it. But there's no way to maintain a building of that size. That's why it was abandoned. Now it's been bought by developers and they're turning it into apartments and lofts and stuff. So it's about to pop off in Martinsburg. That's why we're all excited for everything that we're working on. But let me tell you what the people of Martinsburg, West Virginia have been telling us. I want to give another shout out to Mamba Collectibles. They're our next door neighbors. And last Saturday we played some hefty games of Magic the Gathering and Commander, and we had a good time. Good fun. I won one of them, but it's a little unfair. Like I was playing a higher tier deck and they were playing casual and I stomped them. But you just feel bad when you do that because you're like, we're trying to have fun. You don't got to play a deck's going to win on turn 3. And that's what I did. Turn 2, Grim Monolith. Turn 3, Narset. Turn 4, Strike. 2 extra turns. You get it, Magic the Gathering players. Anyway, they're awesome. Cool people that run that. We play with Magic cards. We play card games. It's fun. Well, I've talked to many of the people in Martinsburg because why would we want to go to a city where people don't like us? And I'll tell you what we hear from the locals. Certainly there are locals that are woke. But with the skate park and what the skaters are doing, what I've been told, elements from DC and from Frederick, Maryland, more woke, younger elements, move there because of derelict property and lower rents. They're bringing in politics that shock and offend many of the people who live in Martinsburg. They're concerned that if this trend continues, you're going to get more drug use, for which there is already rampant drug use and lots of complaints about it, and politics of degeneracy. And I just said, look, we're going to come, we're going to set up our businesses. It's going to be family friendly. It's going to be rather normie and basic. We're going to skate. There's no politics in any of our skating. We're going to play Magic. There's no politics in any of our Magic. We're going to come. We've been here for a while now. The skate park, the land we bought is 2 blocks from where our coffee shop is. And that's just it. And they are upset because we're winning. Guess what? Actual skateboarders, they want to come skate. They don't care about any of that stuff. So we've talked to some of the biggest pros in the world, and they say, it was really cool what you did for that local community, man. 20 grand just offered up. I was like, well, they rejected it. When I talk to pro skaters, industry heads, and I say, we offered 20 grand in prizes straight up to a local DIY for their contest, and they said no, I get shock. I get gasps, confusion. This can't be right. You hand someone 20 grand, they say, thank you, sir. In what reality does someone say, I don't want your money? A politically motivated reality. And that's part of what's killing skateboarding. I'm seeing a lot of big skate channels and personalities dying out right before the Olympics comes. We can't have that. This is how you win a culture war. Now, for many of you who don't skateboard, you're thinking, I don't know anything about this. Right. I challenge where I can challenge. What are the things that I do? I play music. I skateboard. I play poker. I play Magic the Gathering. And I talk about politics. So, of course, these are the things that I've invested in and I'm trying to expand. If you have hobbies in other areas, you know, I hear about a lot of bird housing, just all this stuff where the weird politics stuff is getting crazy. That's the world that you enter. So you have the people who are like comic skate. You have the challenging in the comics industry to try and push back on these things. We have to start challenging the cultural norms and building up our capabilities. Here's the truth. I want to stress again the laughable idea of 21 days after this tweet, he bought the land. And it's like, yeah, but guys, you were screaming at me before that when I was trying to buy land. I bought land a year and a half before that. Like they think that this is like they're the center of the universe and that everything revolves around them. No, I'll tell you what this is. The woke elements of self-destruction that would bring drugs and violence into the community of Martinsburg are upset that we are fighting back. And the real skateboarders, they're skating here because we're really close. We're super close to Martinsburg. You hop in your car and you're there in a few minutes. We built this big private park and we want to build a public one. And so the people who are in the area who skate are just like, can I come skate? And I'm like, yeah, whenever, come skate. And they're like, cool. And then they do, and they film. Actually, one of the guys who posted said, I know you guys are skating with this person and helping him, but you shouldn't because he's bad. Right-wing, prominent right-wing. Dude, there's no politics in boonies. When we skate, we skate. You don't see me here. Here's a clip. They're like, Tim Pool's a poser. Oh, here you go. Let me, I'll play. What do I have? I don't know. I have a switch hard flip right here. Here you go. There's a switch hard flip. Switch hard flip is, I don't know how you describe it. I mean, definitions change as skaters get better, more and more advanced. Switch hard flip is a relatively difficult flip trick, but I consider it a basic trick. It's where you stand with your opposite foot forward. So it feels like you're going backwards, but you're jumping off of your weak. It's like riding left-handed, I'll put it that way. And then it's called a hard flip. So I just, you can understand. That's why. Then there's this. This is called a kick flip, a cancel flip fake. And that's where you do a kick flip where the board flips underneath you, but then you reverse it with your back heel. This one really bummed me out. Ollie backside gazelle, which is, I'll just pause. one of the most advanced tricks on flat ground. It's your body spins 360 and your board spins 540. It could be harder. I could probably throw a flip in there and do a nollie backside gazelle flip, but I land that first try every try. And then the next trick I'm trying to do is called the front side nose grind, front side 360 shove it out. I didn't make it. I didn't get it. Whole skate park to yourself. So this is pro athletics, right? The Olympics is coming up. Also, there's Seamus the cat. The Olympics is coming up, and there are big concerns in the skateboard community as the Barracks. If you're not familiar, one of the biggest brands, their skate park closed at the beginning of the year. We're hearing they may be reopening a new one. Braille, another massive YouTube channel with nearly 6 million subscribers, just announced that they were shutting down their warehouse. I don't know what's going on with that. This is scary stuff. We're talking about an Olympic sport that is losing touch with its root community. We can't allow that. So I've been talking with a bunch of big pro industry guys, and they are very excited. They're like, thank you for putting money into skateboarding. And I'm like, well, I love skateboarding. It's what I do. I want to do more of it. I am 38, and I'm still skating. Today, we're going to go ham it up. As we ham it up hard as a mother effer. We're going to film some tricks. I'm going to try and crank it up a notch and get some good tricks on film and just push the limits. But this is what we're dealing with. And people are tagging like leftist personalities. You've got 2,000 retweets, 1.4 million. You know what? I'll say this. I'll give you this one. My friends, if you want to believe that Tim Pool being emotionally slighted by woke skateboarders decided to drop $1 million to buy their park from them as a flex, please let that be the narrative. You come to me and tell me that you will physically remove me from property you don't own. Professional skateboarding is built upon trespassing. You go on Instagram, you go on YouTube, and you watch any skate video, every single one of these MFers is trespassing and grinding and flipping off of someone's private property. That's how it's always been. You want to tell me you're going to physically remove me from property you don't own? Well, I told these guys this. I said, guys, I want to build a skate park. We will not touch your DIY. In fact, we will protect it. Now you have a guarantee. We're never touching it. And they push this lie that I'm trying to tear it down. Why would I tear down a skate park? I'm building them. I have 2 already. Because they're lying for political reasons. Well, I asked the parents and the people, what would you rather have? $20,000 cash in your pocket and a skate park built at my expense? Or a bunch of whinging leftists rejecting all of that and claiming they own a derelict lot? The city's upset because around this property is a lot of drug use and criminal activity. We are trying to make things better. They don't want things to be better. So I can actually simplify this tremendously. You take a look at the greater culture war and what do you see? People on the quote unquote right are saying things like, let's clean the streets. Scott Pressler cleaned up the streets in various cities in Baltimore and the media attacked him for it. Why? He didn't say anything. He just said, I'm going to clean up. It's the right thing to do. And they attacked him for it. And now here we are. And their whole campaign is, how dare you offer us $20,000 for free? Here's what I'll do. If you skate in or near Martinsburg, I'll just give you the $20,000. How does that sound? It's so nuts. They're like, we don't want to be associated with that money. Okay, that's weird. That's weird, guys, because guess what? The reality is money talks. And the people who are skating in the area, they're skating our private park. Why wouldn't they be? It's a large private skate park, one of the best on the East Coast, and it's free. One of the best. Could be better. It's not super big, but it's a private park. You come in, you skate, you got to sign a waiver, and then you do your thing. And we film, we post your clips. We had one dude. Let me show you this clip. I want to tell you what we're all about. Shout out to Street Genius on Instagram. You guys should follow this guy. This is Skateboarding Art Street Genius. Let me tell you about what we're on about and why this matters. I'm going to pull up this guy's Instagram. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to show you his clip from the boonies. All right. We got this one right here. That's cool. 54,000 views. Wow. How about that? Well, I'll just keep. 21.3 million on this clip. a street genius on Instagram. Take a watch. You see that? That's called a chopper flip. 21.3 million views. This thing has been reposted over and over and over again. I think we're estimating like 40 to 50 million views on this clip from the boonies. This is the stuff that we need to build up an industry. Look at that. That's an amazing photo right there. Why are they against it? It's because I think they want skateboarding to die. It's this weird thing. It's demonic almost. Now, let me stress. I'm willing to bet that most of the people who are posting these things, they know nothing about what happened. All they know is some guy told them and they believed it. If they had ever dealt with the legal issues of buying property, setting up LLCs and all of this stuff, they would know that their story is absurd. But I'll take it. Tim Pool, the evil rich guy, just tried to, I'm going to give $20 million, $20,000 away for free. No, we won't let you. Oh, drats. Then I will buy the skate park and let you keep skating there. That's some villainy right there, I guess. Let me stress this as I wrap this up. I want you to ask yourself a question. Someone offers $20,000, no strings attached, to a contest that, by all appearances, was in the middle of the street. I guess they were doing that at the space or whatever, but there's videos of people in the street in front of my building. Someone offers you 20 grand for free. Then buys the property and says, you're all welcome to please keep skating here. And now you have the protection of a skateboarder who says it will not be torn down. Have a nice day, and hasn't spoken to you in a year since. And then they do this. Who's the bad guy? Who's the bad guy? I love this because let me show you some of this. One person said, question, did he severely overpay, or is that land really worth $850K? Too bad the city couldn't work with the skaters to make a park for them. It sounds like a good community if they got a healthy DIY group. One person said the absolute worst thing that could happen is any government takes the land, especially if it's DIY. Yeah, we don't want government taking land. One person says, okay, so what did Tim Pool do with the land after buying it? He bulldozed the entire park, then painstakingly rebuilt it exactly as it was, except he moved every other rail, box, and ramp 8 inches to the right. The answer is nothing. I said, guys, just skate it, whatever. Like, we're investing in property in Martinsburg. We might want to build a skate park. Here we go. What happened to the park? Seems like he's just taking on liability. Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to take a short trip to Martinsburg and promptly break my arm in 3 places while wearing a beanie. Some loser will probably actually do this and make it get shut down. This is what they're doing. Like, sure, purchasing clout is more like it. I never said anything. One person asked, what's the downside? The downside is that the person they didn't want to take money from and banned now owns the area they skate on. Maybe they should be more inclusive next time. One person was like, I don't know what this guy's saying. Completely surprised I'm finding out about this in a viral tweet, not from FB locals. This is probably like finding out your uncle died through Facebook. I literally did nothing. Pool probably pushes Mongo. This is the thing, the game they play. Because I was skating in D.C. at Freedom Plaza, and they were posting online that I could not do a pop shove it. Well, I wasn't posting clips. I just minded my own business. When in fact, I was doing fakey 540 big flips and, 3 gazelle spins and things like that. They lie because they're trying to maintain a stranglehold on culture, and they can't let people know that I'm actually much better than them at skateboarding. He says no, but he does hang 10 pressure flips, so you're close. That's actually true, but they're not called hang 10 pressure flips. They're hang 10 hard flips. Although pressure flip is probably just it's another way to phrase it, which I think is probably fair. Just depends on the direction you go for the flip. But let me see if I can find the video for you guys. Oh, here's a switch hard flip late 180. Kind of crusty. That's a pretty good one. Switch hard flip on a quarter pipe, a series of tricks there. Where's the, I call it a hang 10 hard flip. That's just because that's what it's been called since we were little. Oh, I must have way past it. Here's a forward flip. That's where the board flips end over end and then rotates one time. Here we go. Watch this video. So that's called a hang 10 hard flip to late flip. Yeah. And then, I don't know, here's a switch frontside flip 360 at Hagerstown. So, you know, I don't know. There's a ton of tricks. What do we got here? Switch 360 flip and a regular 360 flip. There you go. You get to watch me skate. Switch 360 flip's pretty up there in terms of skill and ability. The first try trick for me, I do it relatively easily. But these are the lies that they push because they're trying to make it seem like I can't do anything and nobody does pressure flips, you know, whatever. He says, it's a funded skate park where locals chip in time and money to build obstacles themselves. This person asked, is he denying them the use of the land? No, but imagine your childhood bully buying your house and allowing you to live there. I don't even know any of these people. I've never said anything to them before. I never said anything before this happened. And the only thing I said to them during was, guys, I don't know you. You can keep skating there. What is going on? This is so weird. Someone said, too long, didn't read. No. Using racism money to kill a local skate scene, a literal 80s movie villain. I see Tim has entered the I'm going to tear down the community center portion of his villain arc. Can't say I'm surprised. There's a picture of a fake picture of me. That's fun. What happened to the park? Seems like he's taking. What's the downside? I love that one. Let's see. No wonder the guy is always defending Israel. He just took a tactic out of their playbook. That's right. Israel buying land and then telling them to please live there and do whatever you want. Anyway, you get the point. I don't know. This is fun. Talk too long about it. I like this one. Will of the People LLC. Pretension and irony are in a bitter fight to the death to determine which is best describes the name. Will of the People LLC is a reference to the song that we released called Will of the People. That's just it. Because LLCs need names. There you go. An 80 movie. This is really, really funny. These people really do think that they're the good guys when they're trying to shut down a skate park. So I'm going to say this. Here's the big problem right now. Final thoughts. Half an hour on this segment. Here's the problem. They want to build a public park. They've gotten drawings already. They have land allocated and a budget has been set for design. They need to raise, I think, $400,000. Okay. I have already offered this money. I have already offered large quantities of money and bought land for the endeavor, and they're rejecting it. My concern is when the city comes to them and says, if you're serious about building a skate park, why are you telling this guy he can't give money for this? What does that mean? My concern is that this will actually get the park stopped because of the things they're posting right now. So go to the city and say, yeah, Tim Pool was offering upwards of $2 million for a park. And they're going to say, really? Yeah, but we told him, get out of here. If you come here, we'll physically remove you. And the city's going to be like, what is going on? Why is this dude who's trying to come in here to invest and build parks being told to get the F out? Well, I'll tell you this. The local businesses for which we have been deeply connected with because we own property and we've been working with them do not feel that way. And the concern now is these people are sabotaging the community. Do whatever you want to do. I never said anything to them. But I tell you this, if you reject money towards a project, explain to the city what this, I don't understand. Who else is going to come in and put money in this? Have fun. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 6 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all then.